Hello, people. Welcome back to another video by your good friend, Chad Marco. It's been a while since I personally responded to some comments. So I wanted to go ahead and make another comment video in preparation for the OCM Botcast coming back. Yes. The OCM Botcast is coming back this year and it's coming out very soon. But in the meantime, I wanted to go ahead and just catch up with some of these comments. So I'm just going to get right into that. Just give me a second here and then we will get started. Okay, so this was the video. Okay, this was the maybe you're supposed to be single for now video. And then Pale Gangster says, I haven't watched the video, but the title sounds like coke. Understandable. But then John Pascal says, too long didn't read. He reflects on how many men feel compelled to conform to societal dating norms, often suppressing their true selves to attract women. Chad Marco emphasizes the importance of being authentic and finding someone who appreciates you for who you are. He suggests that trying to force a relationship by pretending to be someone else can lead to unhappiness and that it's okay to be single if it means staying true to oneself. And then this guy said, bro had a short attention span. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. That was a perfect too long. Did not read. I get it from the title, and it's a little bit of a clickbaity title too, right? But this guy, he hit the nail right on the head. The whole point though is just like, you know, I see guys so often, they're just trying to like force a square peg into a circular hole. And I just think sometimes it's better to wait. It's better to just focus on something else until you find that right opportunity instead of just trying to force something. And when I say maybe you're supposed to be single, look, maybe for now, it's going to be in your best interest to be single and just focus on developing yourself until you find somebody that you're more compatible with, as opposed to just getting with the first girl that's willing to give you a chance, because that doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship is going to be fruitful and beneficial to you. So Filthy Frank Black 4067 says, in the fear of approaching girls video, are we so intimidating that it is impossible to invite us for a cup of coffee 1 month earlier? If all we are doing is a coffee date, I'm not going. Oh, that was perfect. You know, I've seen these posts on Twitter that were, well, X, that were flying around a while back. And it was this list of like places where you don't take girls, or it was like a girl basically, she made a list of places where you're not supposed to take her on the first date. And when you really get down to it, the list was basically expressing that she doesn't want to be taken on a cheap date. So that means no like walk in the park and no coffee date or like a cheap movie date. She was basically saying, I want you to spend a few hundred on me, more or less. And what makes this comment so great is that girls will shame guys for not wanting to approach them, for being intimidated by them. And then it's like they forget that we are bombarded with messages like this, like what was seen on X, where girls are talking about, you know, you can't take me here. I don't want a coffee date. We got to go to a dinner date. Like, if you ain't got the money, whatever, broke bitch, nigga. Like, girls do shit like that. And we see so much of that all the time. Now, I think some of that does fall on our head because, you know, you don't have to let that destroy your confidence so much. But it's definitely going to have an effect on men's confidence and what they think in regards to whether or not they should approach women. And really, I think a lot of guys are just, more than anything else, just mentally defeated because of what they see on social media and how unapproachable and out of our league girls tend to seem because of it. So Epic Minecraft fail on the says on a cut off toxic people video, there is absolutely no excuse for hurting others on purpose when you know they aren't acting maliciously. The problem is people lack self-control and act on their emotions all the time. Don't give them the excuse. I always say, think about yourself, because I've dived into this topic of toxic relationships. And oftentimes you would see this conversation tied in with the whole BPD chick thing, the BP demon or the borderline personality disorder. I put that in quotation marks thing, especially in regards to women. And, there are just some people who try to give these women or these men the benefit of the doubt, especially women though. Men, we don't get the benefit of the doubt very often, but women especially. And people try to just write it off as a disorder and you can work with them with it. I'm like, nah, bro. Like, just, again, hold them to the same standard that you hold yourself. You know damn well, if you look at yourself closely, you've never done any of the crazy shit that you see some of these people doing in relationships. As far as like the verbal abuse, the physical abuse, the manipulation, setting guys up, all types of stuff. You've never done anything like that. And you can't even imagine doing something like that. I'm telling you, bro. And it's like, I remember I was having this conversation with a friend one time. And I asked him a pretty good question. I said, do you think there are more evil women than evil men? And what I was trying to get at is that I think sometimes we can't just accept that there are just as many bad and evil women as there are men, but they express it differently. I think women tend to express their evilness within the frame where they have power, right? Which means that where do women have power? Women have power in relationships. And I think that's where they tend to express their evilness the most. And you have to look at it exactly for what it is. It's an evil woman expressing her evil ways. They can't express their evilness the way that we can because we have the strength and the power. We go out, we kick in doors, we kidnap, we knock shit over. Women, when they're evil, they do the crazy shit within relationships where they have the power, where they know society is going to take their side, where they know they can make false accusations, where they know they go in the courtroom and they with the advantage. Then P-Pill Asquid 6005 says on the same video, I need to work on this skill for sure. Been less of a doormat for years, but mostly just stay distant. And it is a skill. Don't let anyone tell you differently. It absolutely is a skill. I can remember years ago, I had to cut off one of my friends. And let me tell you, I was nervous about it because that's a serious thing when you're cutting somebody off, especially when you're not doing it in a roundabout way. When you decide I'm going to go to that person and let them know that we're no longer going to be friends, that's serious. It takes someone who has the ability to deal with confrontation to do stuff like that. And especially for myself, and I'm sure plenty of the guys that watch my channel, we've had issues like that. Because I used to be too passive and too much of a doormat too. But I had to reflect and realize that was one of my weaknesses and make sure that I'm always conscientious of when I need to step up and be more assertive. And cutting people off requires a certain degree of bravery. I don't know if you guys know about the situation, but there's the actor Jonathan Majors who played the big bad guy in Creed 3 and Kang in the Ant-Man movies. And, he got into a lot of trouble because of his relationship with his ex-girlfriend. There was the whole video of him trying to put her in the car and then he ran away from her and she was chasing him all across New York and shit like that. And he ended up getting indicted on I think it was some type of like domestic violence charge or something like that. But anyway, I watched the interview that he did afterwards where he was, talking about their relationship and what went wrong that night. And there was one thing that stood out to me the most. And he said, I wish I had been braver to end things sooner. That's what stood out to me the most. Because when you're talking about, like I said, toxic relationships where you need to cut people off, it does require a certain degree of bravery to do that. And it's not just the confrontation, it's the fallout, because you don't know how they're going to respond. I know one of my friends, he tells me as far as like his relationship, what scared him and scares him about trying to cut his his girl off is that she could just jump up and make false, sexual assault allegations against him, domestic violence allegations against him. And it's like you kind of become held prisoner to what they could possibly do and your own fears in regards to confronting them and really cutting them off. It really is something that you have to, it takes courage for sure to do that, but it's an absolutely necessary skill. And so Redo that X says on the Pineapple Show episode of the podcast, the way Chad gets excited every time he gets every time he gets rejected makes him look like he enjoyed getting humiliated. 2 points to make here. One, I expected rejection. I would be a fool to go up there thinking that I was going to not get rejected. Now, I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised at how quickly I got rejected at times. But overall, I knew I didn't have a chance. The girls that Melly Monaco brings on that show, these are not random hood rats. These are girls who are, one, oftentimes very attractive. They are intelligent young women. They're well-traveled, worldly women who have been to different places. Oftentimes they make good money. These are women that are, quite frankly, out of the league of most of the men that go up there. And I'm one of the bummier guys that go up there, like live with his mama, no job. It's guys that go up there, they're with their own house or apartment, decent jobs, side business, in better shape, more normal, way better than me, and they still get pineapple because these girls, some of those girls, they're used to dealing with like athletes and rappers and shit like that. They're used to a whole different upper echelon of male. So going into it, I'm not thinking I'm about to... Dude, I wouldn't talk to the girls at McDonald's thinking I was gonna get accepted, let alone on a Pineapple Show where you got rich baddies that fuck with athletes. But also, I think the other point is that full transparency, I feel like I sort of over exaggerate my unattractiveness to women, and I lean into that kind of because of the whole, Chad Marco robot music thing. And it was exciting because those rejections sort of just reinforce the idea that I'm undateable. And I think a lot of times I purposefully reinforce those things in my mind just to keep me from getting distracted. And so part of that excitement, again, this might sound weird, but part of that excitement is just because, it ties into the Chad Marco character. I'm supposed to be Mr. That Feel With No Girlfriend wizard. If I go on the Pineapple Show and they like, oh, I love him, he's so cute, then what the fuck? It's kind of fucking up my street cred. So it really, in a way, what would normally be humiliating for another guy, it plays right into my brand. And that's why I was so excited about it. Every time I got rejected, the worse the rejection, the better, because I was like, oh, they're going to love this because this is what you guys want to see. Nobody loves Chad, anything more on my channel than the unrequited love songs and the That Feel With No Girlfriends and the robot music and that whole thing. It just ties right into that. And that's why I was so excited about it. And so Comic Mischief 97 says on the My Ideal Girlfriend video, bonnets are good for when you sleep to not have the hair get messed up. But when you wear it in public, it's kind of overkill. That's all I was saying. Look, I wear a head wrap. Now, throughout my life, I never wore one, and that's why my hair always looked crazy. Only in recent months have I actually been wearing a head wrap to sleep. We have to wear those, or our hair gets messed up really quick. I've heard some people wear or they sleep on silk pillows, or they have like silk coverings on their pillows. But most of us, we use head wraps if we don't want our hair to look crazy. So look, I have not bonnets, but I have a head wrap specifically designed for men with dreads. But you know what? I put it on when I go to sleep. And when I wake up, I take that motherfucker off. I promise you, I don't get up and walk around with that shit on. I don't take a shower. I get up. I'm telling you, the second my head get off that pillow, I grab that shit and I throw it across the room. And I get up and I go about my day. So I understand the importance of it for keeping your hair nice and neat, but it's for women especially, it's just unattractive. It just makes women look worse, period. So on the Why I'm Pro Porn video, Paul Transky says, I'm pro porn too, Chad. It's a delicate topic, it is. But I've observed that engaging responsibly with intention can lead to a positive experience. Not sure why people that are anti-porn are watching your video though. Go get professional help, guys, if you're struggling. Well, you know what? I welcome the debate. I welcome a difference of opinions and views. You know, I don't expect it to be an echo chamber over here all the time. I don't expect all of you guys to share, especially with this one, because I know this, like you said, is a delicate topic. And sometimes I make videos knowing that, okay, I'm probably going to alienate some of my homies with this one. Right, I'm probably going to alienate some of the homies with this one, but I got to keep it real. And when it comes to pornography, and I'm going to make another video talking about pornography because I've been kind of digging deeper in this subject, you know, making threads on 4chan, having conversations with different guys to get their perspective and things like that. And it's kind of giving me more to talk about for the next one. But definitely, again, delicate topic, especially now, because you have a lot of guys who are finding God and going to the becoming right-wing associated, and you know, pornography is considered to be like one of the big evils once you start going down that road. So I kind of understand. And then, you know, when guys are struggling with pornography and they don't embrace it as just another way of satisfying or gratifying their sexual urges the way that I do, then yeah, you're going to just see it as like this vice that's getting in the way of you finding a girlfriend or being more productive, which I can understand. But again, I'm definitely going to tackle this one with another video though and go more in depth because there's a lot more to talk about here. And so on the Eat Well and Train Hard, How I Fell in Love with Working Out video, the Miss Teddy Doll says, your physique is mad, dude. Ooh. But wait a minute. She also says on the My Ideal Girlfriend video, that was honestly such a cute video. Hey, the Miss Teddy Doll, you wouldn't happen to be single? Would you? Look, I've been waiting for the female groupies. I was wondering when they would show up. But look, holla at your boy. So on the Process Cash Your Girl beat, Mo Shubu says, please do the Orbit song or Dinner with the Folks. And I saw this and I wrote it down. I got it written down on my desktop. Now, I got to make sure I can find them because they're on my other laptop. But I got it written down. When I put out the next process, it's going to be either the Orbit song or Dinner with the Folks. And then Simba Trey 4541 says on the Amro songs, bruh, this beat go fucking stupid. Goddamn, love your beats, man. One of the best. One of the best. And you know what's crazy though is that beat is actually like the remix version of the original beat. And I told this story before, but I made the Amaro remix before I made the original Amaro song. That's the crazy thing about it. Because I was writing Amaro and I was making the beat and I forgot what I did, but I put this plugin or effect on the beat that tweaked it and made it sound way different. And I was like, yo, I should make two versions. I'm going to take this tweaked beat and make it the Amaro remix. and I'm gonna finish this original one and make that the original Amuro. But the Amuro remix beat was turning out so much better than the original, and I was writing to it quicker that I ended up finishing that first and then made the original Amuro after that. Kind of a crazy story, but then he says, you make some good ass music, man. Goddamn, plus you make them dope ass beats. Love you, man. Seriously, watch your old videos like all the time. Great content. Thank you. We in this bitch. Thanks for that comment. And so the Royal Roach says on the why anime is great workout motivation short. For the point, it can also show how you can change as a person with hard work, which really helped me. Exactly. Now I think, sometimes people might wonder why I'm so happy and, why I feel good about myself. My life isn't exactly glamorous over here. And I think a lot of it just has to do with, people don't really understand the type of person I used to be. I was really fucked up, and I feel like during the earliest time, or like during the time when I was first getting into self-improvement, I was watching a lot of anime that was, inspiring me to do better. The one that stands out will always be Gurren Lagann. Like that has such a big effect on me as far as like making me want to, if nothing else, force belief in myself that I could be better, that I could, it's kind of like, and I'll just make this quick. In Gurren Lagann, Kamina as a character, part of what always inspired me about him was that in the beginning of the anime, they made Kamina out to be this man of supreme confidence that seemingly came from like some exoteric knowledge or something in his mind. When in reality, Kamina was oftentimes forcing himself to overcome things even when he was afraid, even when he had doubts. And I think that was important for me to see when I was, going through what I was going through during that time, because it made me realize that, you can have doubt, you can have fears and insecurities, but then you have a choice whether or not you allow that to keep you down and to buy into those doubts and those limitations and stay confined to that, right? You can rise above those doubts. You can rise above that lack of confidence and force yourself to do better and force yourself to put yourself out there and do something. And then over time, you start to build confidence in yourself. And I think that was very important. That was super important for me, because I think oftentimes a lot of us, we spiral so far down into negativity to where there's no way you're just going to shovel all that out and then put one of us on the right track. There is going to be a period where you have to live with those doubts and those insecurities and force yourself to do what needs to be done anyway. And I think that was one of the most important lessons I had ever learned from anime, and something I've always taken with me along the way. But thanks for that comment, Roach. So on the My Ideal Girlfriend video, Emergency Channel, that's a cool ass name, says, my ideal is of age and alive. I still don't get a girlfriend. Look, man, you gotta have, well, look, you ain't got to, but I encourage men just to have more standards than that, man. Like, are you really gonna be satisfied with some blob, some Walmart, some Walmart whale riding around in a little go-kart shit because they're too lazy to, like, I really just question how serious guys are when they say stuff like that. Are your standards that down in the dumps? Because I'm not even saying like you got to go for baddies or anything like that, but when you say of age and alive, like, do you know what that means? You know how bad that can get? And then Low Wow, the best game, says, do you go to anime cons? No, I've never been. I just kind of threw that out there as like I would like a geeky girl who would do shit like that. But definitely something that I want to do. Just I got to get some damn money so I can put enough gas in the car to do something like that. And then Sleepyhead Rich says, love the consistency, bro. He sees it. He knows. But yeah, that's one of the main things I'm trying to change about myself. I think I've always had it in me to work hard here and there sporadically, but you're not going to get anywhere like that. You got to be consistent. And I think that, like I said, that's one of the main things that I'm gunning for going into the... I'm not a New Year's resolution guy, but moving into the future, I got to develop the consistency. You know, if I can combine the consistency, develop and combine the consistency with the hard work that I'm capable of doing when I put my mind to it, the sky's the limit. And so Cole McGrath 2619 says in My Ideal Girlfriend video, go for the best girl you can get, homie. No. No, see, because the problem with that, the best girl you can get might not be beneficial to you. I don't mean to sound like a picky, oh, she got pointy elbows, pointy knees type of guy. I'm just saying that the best you can get might not be good enough. I'm definitely a believer that sometimes it's better to be alone. Don't just go for the best you can get. You got to have standards. I'm not saying that you got to expect perfection or that, like making that video, I'm not saying that like a girl got to check all those boxes. We're making, again, My Ideal Girlfriend. But you got to have a standard. It's got to be some things that are just non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. Like that's why I can't... it's gotta be a standard. That's all I'm saying. You gotta have a standard, and if they don't meet that standard, then oh well. Embrace wizardry. That's what I would do. And so I made this post: porn is safer, easier, and less problematic than dealing with modern women. And then Kevin Soon 3190 says, overreacting, man. Not everyone's boring enough to be sucked into some butthurt political belief system to try to gut you over an opinion. I just think even though intimate relationships can and will often be waste of time, it's just a different amount of hurdles that every guy has to go through. Porn, on the other hand, is a simulacrum of rewarding feelings with no true progression. Not everyone's on the grind and making some fire jams like you. They'd overindulge and just end up developing extreme taste that will eventually blossom, for a lack of a better word, outwards as dangerous consequences for others. Don't lie, porn is full of themes like a father figure having sexual relations with his daughter. The entire industry is built atop of stealing men's attention and ability to just even platonically converse with women, not to mention the amount of human trafficking involved with even the most mainstream sites. Not saying I'm clean myself though, still trying to crawl out of that mud. And you know what? This guy, he makes solid points. Pornography comes with its issues. And when you're talking about relationships compared to pornography, like I'll put it like this. It's like on one hand with pornography, the negatives are not anywhere close as bad as the potential negatives of dating and having sex in real life. You're never going to convince me otherwise. But you're not going to get the same level of rewarding feelings and true progression as well. Obviously, dating and having sex in real life offers much more progression and whatnot, offset by all the risk and whatnot. And I think that it comes down to this. Do you want the good enough to deal with the bad? And I think for me, the answer is just simply no. I don't care enough about the rewarding or true progression aspect of real relationships and whatnot because I don't need it, you know. And I also believe that I'm more likely, based on my level of attractiveness or unattractiveness and just the way of the modern world now, I feel like I'm more likely to have to engage and deal with those negatives as opposed to benefiting from those positives. And again, when I say I don't need those positives, because again, he said true progression, I can achieve true progression in different ways. I don't indulge in pornography expecting fulfillment and progression. I indulge in pornography because it's entertainment, because it's fun. It's a way to get off. I do other things like music, self-improvement, and things like that if I want a sense of fulfillment. So I look at pornography for what it is, as opposed to thinking I'm going to get fulfillment out of it. You know, but again, you have the people who just simply overindulge and they're not on the grind making the dope music like me. I got you. For some people, it's just the pornography is all that they have and it's all consuming, right? But I stand on what my base message is that porn in the modern era is safer. Is it not? Easier? Is it not? And less problematic than dealing. Am I wrong? That's the thing. That's all I'm saying. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, let me know why. Now I get that hypothetically, you or realistically, you have some guys who they get the girl and everything's fine. But we all know that's not always the case. So again, is pornography not safer, easier, and less problematic than dealing with? Is it not? Is it or is it not? Let's have that conversation. And so Big Kanji 6154 says on the Demon Slayer anime review, cool intro. You know, I'm glad somebody appreciated it. I was sitting there and I was like, yo, I need to step my game up a little bit. How about I put an intro on this bitch? And I didn't put too much time into it. I whipped it up in like a few hours or something like that, you know. But the finished product, I was like, yo, that's cool. But I had to be careful too because, you know, YouTube, they pick, like, you can't just put any old anime clip in your video because sometimes it'll get picked up and make the video unwatchable. So I specifically went for like kind of low key stuff. Like I put a clip from Batum. I get low key anime. A lot of people don't know about. S Cry Ed, which is like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure retarded cousin. You know, and but I put some popular stuff in there too, like Hajime no Ippo. I was just hoping that the intro wasn't gonna get the video demonetized, or even worse, make it so it can't show up. You know, because I noticed if I put like any sort of like Ashita Nojo clip in the video, then that video just is not gonna, I'm not gonna be able to make it public. And so on the Protect Your Virginity 2024 video, Wilker the God says, 100% I would keep my virginity this year. I believe you. I just wanted to get a job, which in my country seems almost impossible. Same here. Like that's one of the big goals for me this year, is to go ahead and get my next job alongside, of course, doing the music and, you know, trying to be a successful content creator thing. But I also want to get my next job just so I can invest more into my projects and, you know, start paying my mom rent again and just be able to do more, you know. But it's not, man, like people think I'm not trying. Oh my God, I want to strangle people. If only they knew. And then Josh Zip says Chad Marco is for the people. Yes, exactly. That's the people's champ, Chad Marco. When I put that tie on, that dress shirt and the tie when I'm walking around in my underwear, that's the people's champ, Chad Marco. And then Katuro 9721 says, we for real need more of these. This was funny as fuck. It would be lit to do this and make a whole ass series on different topics. Good shit, Chad. And Ghostface says, base. Oh, my friend, don't worry. You know, I had a lot of fun doing that, and I want to just branch out and just start doing more different type of shit. You know, I feel like for like the last while, the Nightwalk vlogs or these videos have been sort of like keeping things afloat. And that's sort of like the like that's my base right now, really, as far as just what I can put out consistently with relative ease. But I gotta start branching out, and of course we doing the music and the podcasts and the anime reviews and shit like that. But you know, I think at the end of the day, people want to see me. People want to see my mug and my big ass forehead. And so definitely I'm going to have to, just do more creative videos like that in the future. And so Retro Media says on the interracial dating video, sad video, been telling brothers and sisters how it's hard to find someone whose perfect mate is super black. This is because of our brainwashed minds have us thinking lighter and white is better, simultaneously having us hate and reject our blackness. Under these conditions, you are not mentally mature to be mating with someone lighter or white because it's more out of conditioning and fantasy than reality. And this raises an interesting question, and I think I talked about it a bit in the video, because now I generally disagree, but I also think that there is some reality in what he's saying, as far as self-hating blacks or self-hating Indians, self-hating Asians. Hell, I would say you got self-hating whites that tends to manifest itself as white guilt and stuff like that. But that's another video. But what needs to be addressed whenever we talk about this, okay, because if you want to sit here and you want to say that if you're black, you're supposed to like black or a certain shade, or you've been brainwashed, you've been programmed. All I'm saying is, why is it an impossibility for a black man, and when I say black, I mean black, to prefer lighter skinned women without it being some sort of brainwashing? That's all I'm saying. Why is that an impossibility? Or maybe that's not what you're saying. Is it possible that some people have their preference because of our brainwash? Sure. I'm just saying I don't think that's always the case. I think sometimes people legitimately just have a preference for something different. That's all. And I think in my case, for sure, I'm not a self-hating black. I'm cool with being black. It's whatever. But I think sometimes people legitimately just do. And I think, again, that's the problem when people say stuff like this, is that what if you're the guy that just legitimately likes lighter skinned women? That's just a legitimate preference. You might be a woman and you might say, I like guys with short hair. You might be a woman and say, I like guys with long hair. I can respect both of those preferences without saying that you've been brainwashed and programmed. Why can a black man not say, I prefer white women, I prefer Asians, I prefer this, that, without it being some sort of negative, or without it having stemmed from a negative influence? Is that an impossibility? That's what we need to establish. Because there's no way that every guy that has that preference is just a self-hating black. There's just no way. And so Server One says on the same video, you're being disingenuous because while you're judging others by the content of their quote unquote character, you're still being judged by the content of your skin, regardless of character. Because though Martin Luther King fought for the right of cultural integration, but what he really should have fought for was the right of cultural liberation. Big difference. I don't think I'm being disingenuous though. Now, but granted, like you said, even though I'm judging people by the content of their character, I'm still being judged by for sure. For sure. You're absolutely right. Certainly somebody out there saw me walking around, black guy with some dreads looking crazy. I was like, oh, I better be careful. I better clutch my purse. I better clutch my purse. But what I'm specifically talking about in regards to like the topic, or what I'm saying, is that how people become attached to their own race. The whole idea of racial pride is something that I don't give a fuck about. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying I don't care about that aspect of it. I don't care about the I'm black and I'm proud, I'm white. For me, my race is just, I don't care. You don't like it? Sue me. I'm just being honest. I don't care. Like I said in the video, if you come at me with a magical ray gun and you turn me to an Asian, you turn me to a white man, a Latino, guess what? I don't care. Because as long as I'm capable of cultivating and developing my character, that's all I really care about. Now, if you come at me with the character gun, I'm going to make you an evil, inconsiderate asshole. Yeah, now I'm sweating. But I just think it's a mindset thing. It's a mindset thing. And some people, they're just really into their own race and they feel that pride about it. You know, oh, I'm a proud Saiyan Vegeta type people. I'm not that guy. I'm just not. And so what are you doing to get a girl? Oh, I made a post. What are you doing to get a girlfriend in 2024? And then big hit Darumaka says, absolutely nothing. Same here. Oh man. And then this guy says, that's not happening. And then Jack Mac 2980 says, no idea. Wow, you guys ain't doing shit. Oh man. But you know, I guess birds of a feather, right? And so Mizu Tiny LRD says on the interracial dating video, as someone that is a victim of race mixing, I wouldn't wish that, on anyone. Now, I know being of mixed race can be an issue for people. I think sometimes people have like sort of an identity crisis about themselves. You know, when you have like a white father and a black mother or something like that, as far as like where you fit in. But typically, let's be honest, when you talk about like black mixed with anything else, you tend to just fall, like it tends to get rounded up to nigga. let's just be honest about that. But but I think the more interesting identity crisis that results from race mixing that I've noticed is the Asian mixed with whites. Like I've seen a lot of those guys, and man, because we know Elliot Rodgers had a white father and an Asian mother, and I've seen a lot of those guys talk about how difficult it is being like mixed between white and Asian and the identity crisis that comes with that. But you know, look, shit, that might be a botcast. Maybe I can get you on. Let's talk about it. Therapist Chad Marco. But seriously, I really want to investigate that though. Like the Asian males that have, you know, white parent, Asian parent, because that's one that I've seen popped up a couple times. And I would love to get that particular perspective. I see the, you know, black mom, white dad. You know, we grew up with them, so. But what do they call them? The hoppers, the happers. I would definitely love to get one of those guys up here. So on the same video, stupid clown says that name. It's fine, just don't pursue a relationship with a woman unless you're Chad. Eventually, your exotic appeal will wear off, and the nagging will begin. Well, you know, man, I think nowadays, does it even matter, bro? Because I keep thinking back to that Jonathan Majors situation. I mean, he is like the king, the King Tyrone, right? I mean, he's like Black Chad basically, and you know, he couldn't even keep his relationship together. I just see like more and more, man. It's like I was just thinking, like, should I just embrace being celibate for the rest of my life? just being honest, man, because with the things that I see in my real life, online, and social media, like what way is there really for a young guy to have a successful relationship? You know, I'm not saying like it's impossible. It's just like very little hope on my end. Like whether you're Chad or not, I think Chad at this point at best is just like, at least you know you're gonna have options. And then Knight 647 says, it sucks how true this is. Relationships should be an equal dynamic, building each other up, not trying to control each other. This world is fucked. People can't even love each other properly, and we need new leadership on this planet. That's exactly how I feel, man. You know, I see these situations. You know, it's like just going back to the Jonathan Majors thing, right? So there was a audio that came out where his ex-girlfriend came home, and I guess she was drunk or something, and he was essentially trying to give her instruction, trying to talk to her and say, look, you're the girlfriend of a very famous celebrity. You can't be doing stuff like this. And she was recording him the whole time. She was recording this man the whole time. Now think about that. You're in a relationship with somebody who's recording evidence to use against you at a later date. And this isn't just something that happens to celebrities. Like this is what people do when they're in like bad relationships. They'll be with each other while collecting evidence. My friend comes over here showing me the evidence that he's collected against his girl, living in the same house. That's the state. Like that's what's normal in a relationship. Now you are literally sleeping with the enemy. We're sleeping in the same bed as the people that we collect evidence against just in case. Like that's a normal relationship now. Then Hellbreaker says real. And then Apple Jackson says, well, what's the chat? Come on, man, catch up. And so all right, so these were comments for the I'm Too Good For You song. We got a flame emoji. Then Mizu says, I'll be blasting this banger while I grind in SMT Strange Journey. And then Ghostface says, fucking banger, volume 9003 would be crazy if this is going to be the standard for all the songs, Based and Ghost Peel. It is the standard. Trust. I haven't even gotten started yet. And so Girl with Pearls says on the Clout Girlfriend Delusion video, I have no idea why this was in my homepage because I'm a 24-year-old girl and don't watch gamers. Hey, we got a girl in the video. No, I'm playing. But I watched this and this was the most pathetic take I've heard in a while. I'm not even trying to come for you, but this was extremely shallow and jealous vibes. Newsflash, women fall in love with men regardless of whether they are a Vogue model or not. The guy you're talking about is even ugly. It's giving jealous. Look, Girl with Pearls 98. I respect your opinion, but I gotta say that you're absolutely wrong. I'm not jealous of Destiny. I mean, look, listen to the video. I gave Destiny so much credit for his success as a content creator, for his intelligence and his reputation as a fantastic debater. I give this guy all the credit in the world. I was giving a real assessment and warning to guys out there that become successful and then they get access to a higher quality of girl that oftentimes simply are not with these guys for the right reasons. You know, if I was envious of Destiny about anything, it would be his success as a content creator. You know, the fact is, girls like Melina, they're very attractive, they're beautiful, but look, they're a couple $100 away from being bought by even an average guy. If you want the Melina experience, you can pay for that. I don't have any reason to be jealous of, you know, his relationship with Melina. You know, this is a real problem here. And look, if you don't believe me, that's fine. I get it. I'm Mr. Virgin loser in his mom's basement. But I'm not the only one saying stuff like this. You know, Low Tier God made a very similar point. And I think I mentioned it in the video about how these guys, they become successful content creators and then they start attracting a different quality of women than what they're used to. And their relationship doesn't work out. Why? Because there isn't a genuine attraction there. You know, and I just think that's just, it's an unfortunate reality that content creators and really just any guy that ends up becoming wildly successful, especially like any sort of like fame and like the sort of success that comes with, you know, social media clout and whatnot just tends to come with these kind of problems. Like, this is just some real shit, you know. But then Mo Shubu says lie, yes. And the Miss Teddy Doll says, don't waste your time trying to change their opinion based. I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, you're absolutely right. Don't. But I'll say this, I'm welcome to a discussion. Girl with Pearls, if you would like, I welcome you to the podcast and we can talk about this. You know, I'm not one of these assholes who just want to bring somebody on and make them look stupid. I would genuinely love to just have an open air, wide open table discussion about this. Miss Teddy Doll, you're welcome. Hit me up. I would love to have a conversation about it. I'd love to get the female perspective on this. This is great. I'm glad we're talking. Hit me up, girls. So Black Cell Neat says on the How I Fell in Love with Working Out video, you low-key motivated me to start working out. You have infectious energy, Big Aniki. These are my favorite comments, you know. To see that I've been able to motivate somebody else to do something positive, to do something constructive and healthy for themselves, always, oh man, beats everything. Even the, oh, your music is so dope. These are the comments that I live for. This is excellent. And so on the Riz video, Black Cell Neat says, the girl has to have interest in you in the first place. If it was a 5'2" balding Indian janitor, she would have called security. Yes. And not to take anything away from the guy, I'm always going to give credit where credit is due. It takes something. It takes something to go up and talk to a girl. Because a lot of guys have demonstrated that, you know, they don't have it in them to do it. Myself included. Look, I'll do it if you pay me. Don't get it twisted. But, you know, it's just, you got to be careful with these kind of videos. I feel like people put stuff out, like people put videos out like these, and it just doesn't really give you the full story of what went into his success. It wasn't the Riz. It wasn't that he just went up and he just had this crazy talk game, this pimp game. She saw him and she liked what she saw. He just needed to seal the deal. If anything, it was his game to lose. He would have had to go out of his way to fuck that up. Basically, it was a slam dunk. It was a wide open. The lane is clear and spaced out. It's wide open dunk. That's all it was. It was his ball to fumble, you know. But I just think if you want to encourage guys to go out and talk to girls, you just got to come from a different angle, because guys not going to buy into this. It's like, motherfuckers know. Motherfuckers can look at this and break it down. They know, like, this dude ain't say or do nothing special. She just liked the way he looked, and then he capitalized. It's just that simple. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. That was the last comments. And like I said in the beginning of the video, the Botcast is coming back very, very, very soon. So make sure you guys get ready for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video, and I'm gonna get out of here. So, Johnny.